Hey everyone, you were listening to Devil Tongue and Phantom Lover once again. Please continue to follow us. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Snapchat, Skype. Call us at area code 347-903-8452. That's 347-903-8452. Or email devil.tongue@gmail.com. Let's talk about something that affects all of us, which is, at least in New York State or New York City, the Department of Education. We're considering this episode DOE Expectations. What is it that we as parents, paraprofessionals, expect from the DOE? You know, I think it's fair to say that we kind of expect more from them than what they're expecting from us. Because as someone who was educated in the public school system, I've seen a lot of changes, not all for the better, however, when it comes to being in public school. I'm going to take a quick pause on that just to mention that this is why when it comes to teaching, a lot of teachers are running to the suburbs, Westchester, Nassau, Suffolk County, you know, better pay, better conditions. And as far as men of color, shout out to New York City Men Teach, they're trying to increase the numbers of black male teachers in the classroom based on studies that show that, I'll say children of color are heavily influenced by having a man of color as an instructor / educator in their presence during their school years.
How's that working out?
It's a slow process, you know, but more needs to be done. And I'll give you a good example. When it comes to job placement, we haven't gotten to retention yet. They need a somewhat more effective means of placing you in the classroom. Now, fine, you have teaching fellows, you have the collaborative, and you even have Teach for America. But Teach for America, you can be placed anywhere in the 50 states. Mm-hmm. When it comes to teaching fellows and the collaborative, if your background is in education and you're not New York State certified, then these are alternative certification programs to get you into the classroom. Let me stress, in order to teach in a New York City public school, you must be New York State certified. Now you can get in, say, as a paraprofessional, but that still is not providing you the certification that you need.
Right.
And where that problem rears its ugly head is, if you're going to teach at a private school or a charter school, understand the difference and distinction of charter school versus the public schools. Usually you can get away without being state certified. But, you know, that depends on the individual school. However, as far as you being in the classroom, whether it's English as a new language, whether it's STEM, whether it's math, me personally, I would love to teach drama, but without that state certification, New York City schools will not hire you. Now, my partner Phantom was schooled mostly private, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so compared to, let's say, New York City schools today, what's your take on the private school system?
Well, I mean, the private school system is better in a way because it limits the amount of students, so you have a filter. It filters a lot of, I would say, unnecessary people, and I shouldn't say it like that, meaning, you know, people that, you know, when you go to public school, the public school is an open ground. Any and everybody can go. Anybody, you know, with with private school, it's more of a filter. If your parents ain't got money to pay, you ain't going. If you're not on the top of the the food chain, as in like a jock or really smart kid, you ain't going. So that takes out like half or even more of the kids out of the public school system. The other thing too is that the learning process is a little bit different. I mean, you still have to have the same qualifications and the same classes you got to take. In New York City schools, the private schools have to do it too. It's no different. Teaching is a little bit different because since you have less children in the classroom, you're able to focus more on each child. If there's a problem with a child, you're able to, help that child and recognize what their problems are and get them that help sometimes. Those are the things that I've noticed that are different. You still have bullies there. You still have, jerks and assholes there. It doesn't change, because you know what? The rich go to public school as well as the rich goes to private. So it's really not, a tale of two cities. It's really not. It's really a choice of, sometimes some people put their children in private school to get ahead. Because sometimes in the race for college, they will look at private schools before they look at public schools. And guess what? And if you're in a public school, you have to be really shining and really be at the top of your class for certain colleges to look at you. So sometimes it's due to, filtering, also as well as getting your child ahead.
Yeah, but as far as college, okay, that's a little one-sided because, remember, we're talking private school across the board.
Right.
Like, no one's going to look at you for college at the middle school level.
I hate to tell you this, and this is the crazy crap that happens in Manhattan. You have people, parents, bidding for space in bougie schools so that their children would have the beginning of a great start. See, I mean, it depends, because you have some parents who are just like, hey, I just want to get them to, kindergarten, make sure, they go to school all day. I'm sick and tired of half a day. Then you have some parents who sit up there and from the day their children were born are going to be somebody. And they're going to college and already have their life already set out for them. So when you're looking back and you look at those parents that are fighting and they are bribing and they are bougie as hell trying to get them into these special schools because they want their children to have the best because they're already setting up the building blocks for them in preschool. So everybody, as you said, expectations of the DOE is different. And you're right. Because if you're looking at it from a parent's point of view, you got some parents who just like, hey, I want you to get an education. And you got some parents who want their kids to be stellar. You got some parents who just don't care.
Yeah, but, okay, from a societal standpoint, from a societal standpoint, we want you to be educated. Period. End of story. That's all we ask for. That's all it is. All they want you is to have your high school diploma. That was it. That was society. They don't want you to go to college. They don't want you to better yourself. They want you to have your GED. Well, not GED. No, not your GED. Yep.
They want you to have your high school diploma, and then that's it. Oh, no. If you don't get your high school diploma, they do want you to get your GED. Your GED, excuse me.
Yeah.
So, but what more are you asking for somebody? Nothing. So your expectation stops right there.
Well, here's the problem when it comes to discipline. One of the things that I want to look at is charter school and private school versus public school when it comes to the behavior of our students. Kids will be kids. I get that. We understand it. But why is it that DOE schools, they have, the high school level mostly, they have a habit of closing schools, consolidating schools, because, they say that the school's out of control.
Well, no, it's also low performance.
Right, low performance.
Right. Well, the reason why they're out of control is children have too many rights. Why do children have too many rights? Question mark right there. All right? I remember when we were kids, we respect our teachers. Kids that don't respect nobody. That's why, and I don't mean to diss the kids, because all the kids are not like this. That's why you have a dummier society right now. That's why when I look at kids today, and you're on your phones, you're up there on some type of medium of computer, whatever, and then for me to ask you a simple question, you can't answer it. You're going to tell me your answer is Google it? Come on now, really. All right? Let me tell you, I've already made this suggestion before, or really it wasn't a suggestion, it was more of a worst case scenario. That's what it was. And I said to somebody, God forbid, if the internet went down, people would lose their minds. It would be the Walking Dead in the street. For real. For real. Because so many people depend on the internet and not on their knowledge and not on what they learn or what the facts are outside of the internet. Meaning that some of the stuff that are facts on the internet, meaning that it came from somewhere, not the internet. Somebody put it into the internet. There it is. You people will lose their minds.
I'm going to tell you a very simple but a very true example, and honestly, it's not funny.
Go ahead.
If you ask someone what time is it, and they look at, say, their phone, they can tell you what time it is. But if you give them an analog watch or clock with hands, they honestly do not know what time it is. This is, again, sad but true. You know...
And you need an app for everything. You don't need an app for everything.
Yes, it's a digital age, digital society, but we have lost our way when it comes to basic navigation.
Yeah. And that's why our education system sucks so bad because, you know, it's funny. I remember we had the conversation of back in the day, school time has not changed. School has stayed the same time. All right? Why are you cutting out classes? Like, that was the point I didn't understand. Today, you're missing art, gym, all these classes, when back in the day, you was able to fit all those classes in. Now, remind you, it's the same amount of time. What is it, 8 to 3? Or 7:45 to 3 o'clock?
7:45 to 2:45
or whatever it was, okay? It's still the same amount of time that we went to school. Why are you cutting out programs? Like, I don't understand that. And we were able to fit everything in our time. Now, I don't understand. What, 30-something years ago, time was telling different... Understand? So, why you can't fit in all these programs that were there once upon a time back in the day, why they're not there today? Another thing, too, is, why do kids have so many rights? Your ass shouldn't have no rights.
Well, you can't say no rights.
No, your ass should have no rights, all right? Because your ass has a parent. Unless your parents has given up their rights and you are of the state, you belong to the state. Other than that, you belong to somebody. Because you know what? This is the part that gets me about certain parents, all right? There was an incident that happened. I mean, I'm not going to recall names, but you probably know what happened. The kid was being bullied, right? And then the kid killed the other kid, right? And then you always got the damn ass parent talking about, oh, well, my son wasn't bullying nobody. Are you there to see your son bullying somebody? And then what makes it really sad is when somebody comes up to you and say, you know, your son is bullying somebody, you're the first one on the offense. Oh, that's not my son. Oh, Billy is not bothering nobody. He comes straight home. Oh, straight home is what? If school's out at 3 o'clock and he's coming home at 7 and he's in no sports, all right? So what is Billy doing for 3 to 4 hours? All right, then. So you don't know what your son is doing. But then you're the same one that be like, oh, my son, he's a good boy. But then if your son is such a good boy, why is he failing in every damn class? Why is he a D student? Like, that's the part that be killing me about people's parents.
There's a sidebar to that.
Go ahead.
And this sidebar has to do with the teachers themselves. You have, school 7:45 to 2:45. Used to be a time when the teachers might stay till 3:30, 4. They were there. Now, you have the teachers skipping out at the same time as the students.
And why not?
Why not?
Why not? Why should I stay there when I'm with a bunch of rude ass people up there calling me out my name, don't want to do their damn ass homework, and I'm sitting here babysitting your ass? Nah.
Well,
if you're not there to learn and you're not there to put in the work, why should I? Now, don't get me wrong. I do, and I've always said this. I give props to teachers all the time, because I know what you're dealing with, for real. I know what you're dealing with, and you know what? Whenever I meet a teacher, I always give them props, and I said, you know what? I know what you're dealing with, for real. I said, I know what you're dealing with. But see, my thing is this. Yo, you leaving? They leave at 2:45. Your ass leave at 2:45 too. Why? Because look, if you in a classroom full of knuckleheads and they don't want to learn and they don't want to go do better or want better for themselves, hey, I came and did my job. I came there to teach you. Now, if you don't want to obtain that and do your homework and do the reports and regurgitate what I did, then you know what? That's on you. Don't get mad because you didn't get into the college that you want to get into. Don't get mad because you can't read your diploma that we passed you along. All right, because sometimes we need to leave you back and leave you behind. But guess what?
But I'm getting ready to counter you.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's talk again about. I'll just say men of color being in the classroom because our numbers are so low in the classroom.
Yeah, and why is that? I want to know.
You know what? There's different dynamics with that.
Okay, no, just asking.
As a matter of fact, moving forward for a future episode, maybe we can have a roundtable discussion. You know, I'll ask some of my cohorts if they want to sit in on this. But exploring that, again, there is no one answer for why, let's just say, when I was in school, for example, I had one black male teacher in my entire, well, I'll just say school life.
And you know what? I'm thinking about it now. I don't remember having a black teacher. No, wrong. In college, I had a black professor.
College don't count.
All right.
To me on a personal level, college don't count.
Okay, no, but that's the only time I've seen a black male teacher.
Okay.
Was when I was in college. That was the only time he taught economics.
Okay.
And that was the only and I'm sitting here thinking about it now. I never had a black male. I've had white male teachers.
Right. I've had white male teachers.
And I've had black female teachers.
Right.
But I've never had I've always had a white. I've always no. Like I said, college, and I can only name one. College.
Well, that's why, again, New York City Men Teach through Expand Ed. Shout out to Expand Ed, by the way. You know, they have this recruitment, this initiative to bring in more men of color. Right. Now, not to discriminate. You know, you can get with the initiative regardless, but it's focused on, you know, African Americans, men of color.
Of course.
Because, again, we're not in the classrooms. No, but, again, I can't say what specific dynamic, if any, exists for that reason.
I got you.
When I was in school, I never wanted to be a teacher. You know, and I'm saying that
I never want to be a teacher either. And I just don't want to be a teacher, period. End of story.
Well, right, but my focus as far as DOE expectations.
And I don't like kids.
I was always phantom. Easy.
I know. But I'm going to let it know. I don't like the children.
We're talking about the expectations that we have of the Department of Education. Because just recently the chancellor stepped down. Yeah,
you told me that.
Right.
And I just said, I saw her yesterday. And then you was like, I said, that must have happened between last night and this morning. And you said, sure enough. And I don't blame her.
Okay, but see, you're going back into the I don't blame you for not teaching. So where's the passion? So where is the, you know, I'm in this because I understand there's a need and I'm there to answer the call. Where is that?
To who? You mean the chancellor or you mean me?
No. When it comes to, first of all, a lot of us are fully aware that you're not going to get rich being a teacher. You can live a comfortable living. But, you know, arguably, there are other professions out there that pay better. Arguably.
Right. But you have to understand, teaching is, and like I give the props to the teachers, teaching is a big job. I mean, the paycheck,
it's a big responsibility.
It is. And I understand the chancellor going down. I don't know why, but New York City is tough. It's really a tough. The DOE is a really tough organization.
Well, let me say. Wait. No, I ain't gonna cut you off real quick. Let me say this again. Basically, you have to be state certified, and they prefer a master's degree. Don't you know? Right now, I could go to Washington. I could go to maybe the Carolinas. I could go to the Midwest and teach on my baccalaureate.
Okay. Back to what I was saying about the chancellor, because that's not what I was saying. What I was saying was that I kind of get why she resigned, because the DOE is, I mean, as an agency and as I guess a company, it's rough. It's rough. I mean, I get what you're saying about you being somewhere else, and you don't need a master's degree to teach and stuff like that. I mean, I get you. I hear what you're saying, but I'm talking about the chancellor resigning. Like, it is what it is. But I just like, it's tough.
Without
New York
being
City,
judgmental, I'm gonna say she resigned because of all the pressure coming down from the incidents that have occurred through the academic year. It could be a failing infrastructure. It could be a failing infrastructure, because think about it. The thing that sucked, that I thought it was really, and we had this discussion already about them putting 5 high schools in one high school. I thought that was the most stupidest thing they ever did. I was like, why? What is the purpose of putting 5 high schools in one high school? That don't make no damn sense. Why don't you just take the high schools that you have, all right, and those that are failing, close them, figure out why they're failing, reopen them with a whole better agenda. And hopefully with that better agenda, you will get a better result. No, what you do is that it's like you change the ingredients into making a vanilla cake and making it strawberry, but it's still a cake, but now it's strawberry, but with vanilla in it. And so now you're combining the two together to make this new flavor, and the flavors don't jive. Yeah, but the failure is...
But it doesn't jive. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't jive. If the batch, you made it bad from the beginning, you either throw it out and start a new batch. You
in a sense, they're doing that when they close these failing schools.
No.
Let me give my example. That's like a heavy set person saying, "Oh, I'm going to buy bigger clothes."
Right.
But you're still getting big.
Right.
So honestly, you have to backpedal and change your diet as well as exercise. That is addressing the situation.
Correct, and that's what I'm saying. You close the school, you figure out what the problem is, you address it, you fix it, and then you reopen back the school. Because at least that's a school that's still needed. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's failing doesn't mean that it's not needed. What happened is that it needs not to be failing, but it's still needed in the community. Because that's not fair to people who live in that community, that if the school is near them, and I'm not saying near them as in like 2 blocks away, meaning that maybe maybe like a 30-minute ride from their home, from there and back. As in compared to, now you're closing my school, now I gotta schlep to the next school that's gonna take me and accept me, which could be an hour or hour and a half away now.
I'm not going to support that, and I'll tell you why. When you get to the high school level, we all pretty much, okay, I'm going to Bronx High School of Science. I'm going to Brooklyn Tech. I'm going to this specialized high school, that specialized high school. If you're referring strictly to, I don't know, the elementary, the middle schools, which they don't close, then I guess what I'm really trying to say is there is no argument. You're closing a failing school, but whether it's, I don't know, ousting the principal, whether it's getting in more younger, energetic, more hungry teachers who are more passionate, I don't have all the answers.
It's not, because my thing is that we don't know why a school is failing. Could a school be failing because it's overcrowdedness? Could a school be failing because of understaff? Could a school be failing because of not enough books, or not enough the books are not up to par, or teaching but
supplies
and stuff of that nature? I'm just saying, you don't know what's the failing.
In this digital age today, there is no excuse, none whatsoever. You know how much money some schools or school districts spend on computers alone?
I understand that. And then what happened is that they also want to do the iPad system. But I'm like, who's going to do the iPad system in public school? Because them kids will probably either steal them or sell them or do whatever with them.
Well, you're being very cynical, but the thing is...
I ain't being cynical, I'm being truthful.
No, it's all about learning.
It is about learning.
And the truth is, when it comes to, iPads, for example, let's take it back to the discipline issue. I'm going to say first, we need a system of checks and balances in place when it comes to discipline. You have detention. If detention doesn't work, then expulsion is too extreme. But if you want to get the message out to the parents, even if it's grandma, what you do, and this will only work in New York City schools.
Go ahead.
Take them to 65 Court Street in Brooklyn. For those of you who are wondering what that is, or those who are semi-familiar, that is DOE headquarters. That's right, Devil Tongue said it. Have a detention room set up at 65 Court Street. Every borough, including Staten Island, of course, you have school safety round up all these kids that want to act out, and you make the parent or guardian come to 65 Court Street and pick them up before the building closes for the night. Parent doesn't come, you call ACS. See, the problem is, truthfully, everybody drops the ball. Nobody will take responsibility for anything. Because they're going to be like, well, ACS got too much to do. School safety officers, they're going to complain, but we don't have the numbers. Bull. Make it happen.
You know what's funny? As you said that, I remember back in the day, we used to have truant officers.
Right. Where are the truant officers?
Yeah, what happened to that? Like, whatever happened to that job?
Thank you.
You know, and then, there's a lot of things, excuse me, that they don't do now that they used to do back in the day. They used to do, I forgot what they called it, but it used to be called Roundup. And they would have the truck, and it was like a van, and they would drive around the schools or drive around certain places where they knew there were kids, and they would round your ass up, put you in the van, and then take you where you needed to go, and then they'll process you. And then I forgot what they was called again, but the school security used to do that back in the day.
Well, school safety.
Right. But that's what they used to do. I guess they call it the roundup or whatever. They need to come around and get you. Now, it's like they leave everybody to their own devices.
So for those of you who need a job, why? And have a truant office in place with truant officers. Again, put the pressure on law enforcement as far as school safety goes, and take these kids to 65 Court Street and let ACS know, let them know straight up, you might be getting some kids tonight, and these parents will come and pick them up before we close. Mm-hmm. How else are you going to send a message? Because no message is really being sent, and it's not getting through.
True that.
Okay? I can be a child's parent, if you will, but the bottom line is I'm there to teach also. And for lack of a father figure in the home, you don't want to listen to me? Then guess what the next step is? The next step is discipline. That is law enforcement. That is, you will learn one way or the next. We're not going to tolerate. Bullying is a different issue, and we've had episodes about that. But we're not going to tolerate the lack of respect and discipline when it comes to teaching our kids. I'm not going to use profanity, but you want to tell me to blank you this, and you want to call me all kinds of names, and then you feel like there's no repercussions for your behavior, and what happens is that the kids wind up being right. There's no real repercussions for that.
See, look, kids have too many rights.
Well, I'm just saying, let Devil Tongue become school chancellor. All that's going to change. All that'll get nipped. You better believe it. Phantom Mother and I sit up here trying to be as positive as we can be. And, respectfully speaking, we want a larger platform to give our opinions and express our ideas, that I feel will work.
Right.
Because part of the problem is they're circumventing old ideas that they worked when we were in school, and they don't work anymore. Come on. If you can't, and I'm trying to be fair, if you can't afford private or charter school, and your kids must be educated in the public school system, you as a parent have to be proactive and involved also. Teachers and parents have to come to PTA meetings.
True that.
Parents have to get involved in the after-school activities or the in-school activities. It's this educational system, and I'm really speaking for New York City more than any other place. It's failing because we're failing. We're failing as parents. We're failing as educators. We can reverse that. It can't happen. Stop putting the blame on social media. Stop putting the blame on the rap, hip-hop music. Stop putting the blame on society as a whole. Well, I forget what it's called because I was going to do a talk show about the prison pipeline also.
Uh-huh.
The school to prison pipeline.
Uh-huh.
But put the pressure on yourself to be better. That's all we're stressing to you. The fact is, one, listen to me carefully because I know I might get fever for this. Mm-hmm. 1 + 1 is 2. 1 and 1 is 11. Either you get it or you don't, but you have to get it. Okay, Phantom and I sit up here, continuing to raise children. They got to take the PSATs. They got to take the SATs. If you want to go to, say, a university, you got to take the GRE, the GMAT, the LSAT, and the list goes on. Can we get the basics down, please? Can they bring back Big Blue Marble, Electric Company? Can they bring back Hooked on Phonics? Can we bring all that back to help us learn?
Hell, the Magic Garden.
Thank you. And notice, I said help us. Not help them. Not just help you, help us. Because we're still learning as well. And really, for what it's worth, that's all I have to say. But keep in mind, we repeat things because these are ongoing topics that they're not necessarily going to go away. But we can improve, so to speak, our lives if we just work to make these improvements happen. Anything else you want to say?
Nope, you said a whole lot right there.
And I'm going to continue to say more. All right, ladies and gents, thank you again for tuning. And thank you once again for tuning in to Devil Tongue and Phantom Other on Spreaker.com. All right, so get your mind made up and let's get it done.
Okay.
All right.